So
is there
you
a little...
click the red one, then you unclick the red one and click the applause together, and then that's how it starts.
What? Hello, welcome. We're here to talk about Junior to Giants. And guess what? Not Sandra. It's me. I'm Marisa Salvato.
And
you know me so
Pedro.
well. Yeah. I am the mentor at Junior to Giants. I walk the path, walk the road with our beautiful interns. A little bit about me. I am a business owner. I have been working with Generation Schools for a year and a half now. I mentor and lecture in applied business. And it's been a really great pleasure and one heck of a journey doing this program. It's been really, really uplifting, fulfilling, amazing. And what I want to talk about today is I'd like to deliver the message of what the program actually is on a day-to-day basis, change it up a little, let you understand the reality of what we're doing, especially from the perspective of the intern. Okay, so here we have Pedro. Pedro, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm a former Generation Schools student. I've been with Generation Schools for the past 5 years of my life necessarily. And I finished my AS and A level, Cambridge International. And I'm from Brazil. So there was a big journey before I actually ended up here. But we're here to talk about that after. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good to know that what we do it's international.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, how did you hear about what we're doing?
So I actually got to know the Junior Giant program through Jeffrey Epstein, the Generation School CEO. And what happened was through the school relationships and everything, he came through to me and said, Pedro, I'd like to meet you about this program that we're currently doing. And I met him on the next day and he wanted me to start on the following day.
So unlike him.
As you know. Yeah. And that's how I got to know about it.
Okay, cool. So you would have had some expectations?
Yeah, I had some idea of what it was after I got explained what the program is and what's going to be happening here and everything. I was expecting to be exposed to all of these different types of environments, to have a lot of growth within this program, also to learn a lot, which, I mean, you expect kind of from anything.
Yeah, true.
But it was just, those were the things that I thought were going to happen, but I also thought it would be kind of boring to a certain degree, and trust me, it was not.
Yeah, so that's my next question is, let's talk about what you expected versus what it actually was.
Yeah, so I expected it to be kind of boring at some points because it's working and I had worked before and everything. So I had some idea of what working would be like, but working within these different types of environments that you guys end up putting the interns in, it was not boring at all, and it was actually quite I'd say hectic, as South African says. And what happens was we got thrown into the deep end at all of these different environments and opportunities, and the one-on-one sessions with you guys and the workshops and everything. So it was always constantly learning and constantly doing new things in different environments and different projects. So I think that was one of the parts that I did not expect to happen, but it was like that.
Yeah, I think what people don't expect, the truth around real life working is that most times, there's very little structure.
Yeah.
There's no handbook when you arrive, and that's normal. When we walk into our jobs, it's beautiful. Sometimes you get a little handbook. Yeah. But the reality is that you arrive and there are expectations and you need to go. You need to be water. Become whatever they need you to become. And then sometimes it is boring. And as I've explained, there's a challenge in that too, because you mustn't look bored. So what are you going to do in that time that you've got? And we obviously push you to create. And I mean, it was very, very easy with you because you are such a creative.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So best case or best part of your job versus worst part of your job.
So with this program, I'd say, can I start with the worst part? Is that fine?
However.
Okay. Oh. So I'd say that the worst part was me being able to let go of specific responsibilities or anything that was laid upon me as a part of a project or a task or anything like that. Because what would happen is I have serious distrust with other people performing tasks or tasks that I'm supposed to do to a certain standard. And the most difficult part was being able to trust other people doing the tasks that I usually should do, and it not being up to the standard that I would have done in it. So I would continuously overload myself with work because I would always be like, I'll do it myself. Yeah.
And then you'd get really frustrated.
Yeah, definitely. Lack of time, lack of everything.
Yeah, 100%. That was, for us, it was, for me, it was obvious a lot. You were very frustrated. Why is no one doing it like that? And that was a very beautiful part of what you had to learn.
Yeah, it was
team and collaboration and patience.
Yeah, and learning to be in an environment like that, I would say that most actually working environments these days are very similar to that, where you end up being extremely frustrated that people are not doing it the way it should be done or the way you would do it.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you have to learn to live with. And
you were so lucky as well.
Point.
Where you are doing your internship, of course, you're exposed to head office, you're exposed to a lot of professional people doing a lot of big things, and you can see how those everyday frustrations are real life. We all have to deal with it every day. Yeah. Okay, and then best part.
Oh, the best part of the program. I'd say the best part of the program was the personal growth that you get from it. So necessarily the one-on-one sessions that you get with the mentors, so you specifically, and I would also say the workshops that you end up doing, because they might be a small amount of them, but the thing is they're very rich in knowledge and all these types of things. So what happens is you absorb a lot in those, and then you're able to apply it, but then they're the kinks on the road. So the things that you don't expect to come across, that you don't learn in a classroom. And that's where the one-on-one sessions came in, where we would be able to get direct assistance and directory on what should be done and anything, but you never told us what to do. That's a big plus of that.
That's the hard part of being a mentor, actually, is that I just want to tell you. I want to go, but I need to ask questions and keep asking questions until you work it out on your own. Yeah. And that's what real learning is.
When you figure it out on your own, you have this feeling that you know how to do it now. And it makes it much easier for the future times, necessarily.
Yeah. And we've got so many different types of interns that come into the program, and I think especially with your group or your time, there were some workshops that we had to revisit a couple of times. # conflict resolution.
Happened a lot,
right?
Hey? And that was also something else that I was not expecting, because everywhere that I had worked before was a very professional environment, so you never brought any personal business into it. And as you saw, I would be very much like that when I got to all of these different environments, headquarters, the bridge, and all of these different types of things. And because of that, I didn't expect people to take things so personally or so emotionally. So that was a very unexpected thing for me, and having to deal with conflict resolution and different types of personalities in those environments.
And different ages.
Yeah,
that's what's great,
ages.
is that without even realizing, yes, you're learning from me and you're learning from the environment, but you're learning from each other.
Yeah.
You have to be patient, because you might have someone who's 16 or 17. You're 20. I think it's important as well to make it quite clear that even someone at 20, someone 22, can learn so much. There's just, it's lifelong learning.
And I think it's things that you take on for life, because what happens is, like these I'll say lessons that I'm gaining here in conflict resolution and all of these different types of environments, what happens is I'm not going to put that in my job descriptions for the future or make sure that it's there.
My class needed 3 workshops of conflict resolution.
Or put it in like my CV type of thing. It's one of those things that is very good to have, because you can apply it in all aspects of your life.
Definitely.
And it's for life.
Practiced. Yeah, 100%. Okay, cool. So the question I've asked you is, were there any surprise gains? So surprise things that came up that you didn't realize were a thing, and then you got to develop.
So this is going to be a little contradictory with what I said earlier, is that it was not boring at all, the program and everything. But obviously in life, there are moments where you get bored, and you have to do nothing necessarily. And that was one of the hardest parts for me. And I consider it a gain that I have now from the program, which is being able to be bored, and also being able to be still and do nothing, and like in a controlled environment type of thing. You're a
very high energy guy.
Yeah.
So I have to agree with you. I saw that firsthand.
And
That's
I think
really
that was
good.
like a very surprise gain for me, which I did not expect to happen at all.
And give you a little.
Thank you guys.
I like these buttons. Okay, cool. So you've done the program, you graduated, you spent some time working in the bridge. What now for Pedro?
Okay, so what's next now is, so Generations and Jevon necessarily builds a lot of relationships with different businesses in different places. And one of them is called Simera Sense. They're an aerospace company and they build satellites. And through Generation Schools and the Junior Giant program and the preparation that I got for this, I have now acquired a position as a component, as an integration component specialist necessarily at Simera Sense. So building satellites, and yeah, it's very exciting things coming soon.
That's amazing. I don't know what that is, but it sounds very clever. That's amazing and an incredible opportunity, and you wouldn't have been put forward if everybody didn't believe in you. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then sort of wrapping it up, and for reals, I need to a lot of young people, when we talk about Junior to Giants program, they're like, yeah, no, I don't need that. What would you say to those people? We're talking about your colleagues, we're talking about your friends, we're talking about students that you know are 16, 17, completing at school, not just Generation Schools, other schools, open to anybody. What would you say to those people? Do you recommend what we do and why?
So the biggest part of this for me is that young people are going to frown upon the entire program and the entire idealistic part of the concept necessarily. But what happens is, I would say that if anyone gets an opportunity to do this program and be exposed to all of these different types of environments and network and the personal growth, which I would say is the main aspect that you get out of this program, I would advise them to do it. And I would hope that they choose to do it, because nowadays, lots of students and young people my age or younger than me are deciding to take gap years and proceed to not do anything in their gap year. And this is a 3-month thing that you can do. Like, you don't have to stick with it for life. But when you do so, there's gains. So there's growth that you can't deny.
Yeah. We get, parents always understand the value of this.
Yeah.
It's the younger people, and they don't know till they know.
Yeah.
And hands down, every single intern that has walked through, and we've had quite a few now, arrive and leave 2 different people.
Yeah, and not only that, is they see the value of the program as they go through it, and then now they.
Yeah, I'm a parent to teenagers, and I wish that we'd had something like this. I think everyone's lives would be quite different if we were exposed to the harsh realities and the very big questions from an early age. There's a lot of adults who don't have the skill sets that are being introduced to you guys at such an early age. So yeah. So thank you very much. I hope that we have answered any unasked questions about the program and what it actually means and what it is for real.
And also to give a more realistic approach to what it is on a daily basis. And,
and I think what's critical and what I hope comes from this is that the goal is not actually placement. That's great. That's ideal. But the real meat and the real golden nugget is that soft skill development and those life skills that stay with you forever and will forever have you changed.
And it's as you mentioned now, it's the growth. That's the most important key aspect that you get out of this program.
Yeah. Agreed. So amazing. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
Another podcast by Generation Schools.
Yeah.
Wait, that was...
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me here.
And we wish you the best of luck. We're very, very proud.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for everything.